Hello and a very good evening, everyone. We welcome you all to Bhavnagar. We are all set for the summit clash, and this is going to be the biggest of the lot. Two teams who've been unstoppable so far, two teams who've been unbeaten so far. They'll be the ones taking the center stage, and they'll be the ones ready to put up a show like never before. Will have a new champion in place. It goes without saying. The defending champions have crashed out in the semi-finals, and they crashed out against the same team that you're looking at in the frame, Tlangnuam Futsal Club, hailing all the way from the hills. We all know that a Mizo team, whenever they are around, they are always pulling off wonders one after the other. Of course, they have quite a few experienced names in their side as well, and a few incredible names. If you take a look at the list of
of AIFF Futsal Club Championship. You were there in the first season playing as a player come manager, and now you are in the fifth final over here. How do you feel about it?
I think the feeling doesn't change. Every year, playing in the final is a it's a privilege, I think, for a team to be here because all players work hard, all coaches work hard for this moment, for this final. So yeah, I think the championship also has evolved. Teams are getting better, players are getting better. Tactically, the game is getting better, and I'm really happy to be in another finals.
And how do you see the journey over here? Because it has changed a lot from what it was. We had seen that in the first year, players were like literally playing football on a wooden court, but it has changed a lot. The tactics have changed, things have changed. How do you see it going forward, and what are your views on the game today?
I think coach education has played an important role. Many coaches and many players, what they have learned during their time in the club championship with the national team, they are going around and teaching the correct form of futsal, and that is very important for the sport to develop. The culture also is improving. There are a lot of more club championships happening state level wise. Mizoram is doing a good job with their state championship. Gujarat is doing a wonderful job with their state championship. So teams are evolving, coaches are evolving, everyone is learning, and the game is growing.
What are your views on the game today, coach?
I think we are playing a very strong opponent, one of the best, possibly the favorites before the start of the tournament, and the favorites for today. Tactically very sound, a lot of national team players. It will be an interesting match. I think it's one for the neutrals to enjoy, and may the best team that plays well today wins.
Well, of course, at the other end, Progressive Sport, they've also been in great shape. Unbeaten in a span of five matches. They played a game less, and this is where they belong. Well, at the helm of affairs, it's Veera Babu Shivaneni. Let's quickly hear what he has to say, especially when he's got a
Today,
champion like
ideally,
Nathan
the
Mali.
game plan most is playing good game, respecting the opponents, respecting the officials, making this game more beautiful with the professional manner. That is the first priority. Always, and they already progressing as our club is progressive, so they are progressing from first match to till now. I feel the game plan is again to progress this match also, to do better action.
Well, to do better is what Veera Babu had to say. And of course, he knows a thing or two. And obviously, Kalyan Chaube, the All India football president, he's present today in the crowd. This is a big moment for these two teams. Well, this is Rohit Ganguly inside the commentary box. Alongside me is Liam Bain.
Thank you so much, Rohit. What a grand occasion it is. Of course, the final of the Futsal Club Championship, the 22nd match of this year's edition. And as we heard from the coaches, every year it's getting even bigger and better. And this time, the quality of futsal has been at its absolute best. And of course, a quick photo to commemorate the day as we get ready for the final. So there we go. It should be a cracker of a final. Rohit, of course, we did one of the semi-finals each. Tlangnuam beating Goal Hunters, the defending champion. So we will have a new champion here. The referees today, Said Khalil and Divyesh Ule, will be the two refs on the court. Third referee, Paritosh Vats. Timekeeper is Kistalin Wanyang. As we take a look at the lineups as well, Malhar between the sticks for Tlangnuam. Then you've got Sankima and K Mama. At the back, there is Avida, the number 7 and skipper, and Of course, they start off with Vincent this time. And for Progressive, Ozin Silva, household name. Aman as well, Puya, Chetan, and of course Nikhil Mali, who has top scored in 3 of the 4 competitions here at the Futsal Club Championship. And the one he didn't play, of course, that's the one that he wasn't the Golden Boot winner. And of course, Rohit, looking forward to an exciting matchup, aren't we?
It goes without saying, an absolutely exciting matchup indeed. Of course, Aveda, the captain, at one end, and another giant at the other, Nikhil Mali, the captain of the Indian national futsal team as well. Well, the match officials, as you said before, Paritosh Watts, he knows it's going to be a tough day for him as well in the office. Now, two teams who have been on a scoring spree, two teams who have been uh, on an absolute rampage so far. If you take a look over at the tournament run, especially for the likes of Progressive, they've got 48 goals in 5 matches, and they've conceded slightly more than their counterparts. 16 goals is what they've conceded. At the other end, Tlangnuam, they've scored 60 goals in 4 matches. 23 of them have come in the quarterfinals. Tells you volumes about the side's quality, the side's fitness. They've only conceded 7 goals. So when it comes to being attacking in terms of numbers, obviously Tlangnuam, they have the upper hand. But as we know, Liam, one thing that goes without saying, no game in football or in futsal is played on the pen and paper. Stats come later, stats are non-history. Stats speak volumes for the analysts to pick up. But these upcoming 40 minutes, these belong to the players, and it's for them to write their destiny, to bring down the hammer on the anvil of fate.
Most definitely, and those stats speak for themselves. Should be an attacking matchup as we take a look at the road to the final there for both the teams. This was Tlangnuam, the way they got through, beating the likes of Goal Hunters, definitely their toughest matchup. But Progressive also played Goal Hunters in the group stage. That was a 5-5. So those 3 teams were definitely great. But of course, Southcastle United, they were fantastic as well. I call that semi-final as they took Progressive Sports all the way. They were leading for quite a bit. It looks like we're all set to start off the final. A few smiles. Of course, they know each other very well. We'll get into the history of the sides a little later. But Aveda kicks us off and we're all set for the final of the 2026 Futsal Club Championship. Tlangnuam Futsal Club versus Progressive Sports Academy. And we will be crowning a new champion. No team has won this competition twice, and that will stay the same. Goal Hunters unfortunately could not hold on to the crown. And let's take a look if Tlangnuam or Progressive Sports can get an early goal here.
What a ride it will be for Progressive Sports Academy if they can lift the trophy here in front of their home crowd. They are a side hailing all the way from Ahmedabad, so obviously it's a very special occasion. But then we also know a side like Tlangnuam, they believe in one particular element of the game, and that is systematic and clinical development. Even in the semi-final, when they were up against the Goal Hunters, they were in no rush. They were happy to sit back. They were happy to weather the initial storm, and they slowly and steadily started coming in. And once they started coming in, once Aveda took over the reins being the captain, it was extremely hard for Goal Hunters to try and stall them.
Absolutely, and that's where the experience comes in. Chance here. Nikhil Mali, speaking of experience, so the ball almost fell towards him. And you can say the same for Progressive, because for quite some time they were behind in that game versus Southcastle United. And then it was Nikhil Mali who came in, got a couple of goals, stayed very calm. Here's a chance for Tlangnuam. Brilliant block. Couple of the defenders, Aman and Puya, both doing exceptionally well to get themselves in front of that shot. First 5 minutes, you can take a look at the stats. 4 goals scored for Progressive. They would love one here. And I think when we speak about the 2 skippers, Aveda and Nikhil Mali, I think they will also hold the key. Here's Nikhil coming through, looking for a toe poke for a second. And that'll be a decent move. Goes out for a corner. So of course you do have both of them, but then we heard Joshua Vaz speaking about the tactics and how the game has evolved, how futsal has evolved from say that first season to now, and we've had the pleasure of calling a few of those seasons, a few of those tournaments. So I think tactically the way the game has evolved, it has been super impressive as well. Chance here, opportunity, the first proper one of the game, falling to Progressive Sports, but Puya puts it over the top.
And absolutely, one thing that you mentioned, the game, the way it's technically evolved over the years. I think one man who's been a craftsman of the same has been Joshua Stanvas. Avida has got 4 goals in the semi-final, so obviously will be extremely hyped up to try and score. But yeah, under the watchful eyes of Joshua Stanvas, man who himself has been involved with the development of Indian futsal. Avida once again just trying to have a little crack at the goal. One thing for Avida is he loves to shoot from distance. Someone who's very, very proficient in terms of accuracy, in terms of placement. Fan predictions that say that Tlangnuam should be the one to walk away with bragging rights, and that's an overwhelming gulf basically. 82%.
And that's pretty interesting, Rohit, because when I was doing the semi-final, Progressive Sports had 100% of the fan vote with them when they started off, and then South Castle United won everybody's hearts over. And by the time we went to 10-15 minutes of the first half, it had changed significantly. In fact, it was maybe 60-70% in favor of South Castle United. But it's great to see the fans getting involved as well. And of course, us as broadcasters enjoy futsal so much. It's still relatively new in India, just the 5 years of this particular competition, and we hail from Kolkata, where we love our five-a-side football as well. So very technical sport, a part of the sport that we all love. Opportunity here for Nikhil, just loses his footing a bit. And that being said, I think both these sides, why this will be a cracker of a final, because both of them like to play on the counter. You don't get to hold the ball too much in futsal. Here's Avida, takes a shot, blocked nicely, and now Nikhil Mali on the counter as expected, but Vincent stops him, goes on the overlap. Good turn from Avida, plays it wide. Kemama opens it up, takes a shot, should fall straight to the keeper. And of course, I have played a little bit of futsal as well, so it's very difficult when you're playing a high octane matchup, because the nerves can get to you. Sometimes you can't play that release ball, you can't play that back pass. That's why that ball was played out. So it may seem 40 minutes may seem like a little bit of time, but it's a very long time, especially in a high octane final like this one.
Yeah, great to see the environment, to be honest. The drums coming in, the fans turning up. I think that's exactly the kind of ambiance you would want in a high octane match like this. And there you go, all happy, everybody smiling. Of course, at the end of the game, a few won't be too happy and a few will be absolutely exhilarated. That's the nature of the game. At times, it can be incredible, and at times, it can be pretty heartbreaking as well. I think one magic word that you mentioned in futsal, Liam, and that is the technical aspect of the same, because obviously a game that's got a lot of tacticalities involved. It's extremely fast, it's extremely technical, and more importantly, the way it revolves and evolves over every succeeding minute. I think that's absolutely crazy. And another thing is 40 minutes, all right, but 40 minutes, not a 40 minutes time, it's basically 40 minutes on the stop clock. So every second is what you have to play for. It's not that you can let a few seconds fly by. And that's why this game is so brutal as well, so gruel as well. A little run all the way to the right, but eventually the shot that came flying in, that didn't come anywhere close from Marema. Marema was the one who opened the scoring for Tlangnuam Futsal Club in the semi-final. And then Avida took over and Avida started firing on all cylinders. But so far we haven't yet seen a goal-bound movement. Almost about to conclude the first 5 minutes of the first half.
In the first 5 minutes, very important. You don't want to concede a goal more than anything else. You take a goal, of course, but just like a normal football game, all your plans go out of the window. And take a look at that stat. That's a crazy stat. Progressive SAF scored 1 goal every 4.55 minutes. So that's almost one goal every 5 minutes, which means almost 4 each half. 44 goals so far in the 5 matches they have played. And of course, Tlangnuam themselves, I call that 23-0 matchup. That was absolutely enthralling football from them. A bit of a challenge there. That will be the first one of the game. Sankema just getting his body in between the ball and the man there. And take a look at this one. Tlangnuam, 60 goals in 40 matches every 2.67 minutes. So this is what you were mentioning, Rohit. It's so quick that sometimes you score one side and then on the other side you concede. Opportunity maybe for Gaurav here, who turned that semi-final on its head. Was out for quite a bit and then eventually scored 3 towards the end. Made a good goal line block as well. Here's Gaurav looking for the 1-2, maybe gets it back. Here's Gaurav, good save. Malhar making sure to make himself big, and on those one-on-one situations you want your goalie to come up, and there's a bit of a push there. That'll be a foul. It's from Sean. Sean also, who was very impressive in that semi-final, gives away a foul though.
This time kind of figured out that Guinea was almost about to, in fact, Ronnie was almost about to break free. Now, Ronnie is another very, very unpredictable player. Someone who can just increase the speed whenever he wishes to, and I think that changes a lot of things. A player who's able to control those runs in the first free kick of the evening. Tlangnuam leading the possession. It's going to be Ronnie to set it up. Pushes it all the way back, and a very feeble shot, to be honest. Nonetheless, possession stays alive. Another attempt to try and take one from range. Sankema, of course, will be looking forward to getting those goals. And you're talking about the number of goals scored by the side, and I think that's one of the reasons why. If you take a look at the leading goal scorers of this tournament, they all belong to these two clubs. Nikhil Mali, right at the top, 12 goals. Puya then, 10. Gaurav Kankaukar, 9 goals. Guinea with 8. Avida with 7. It just tells you that these two teams, they've got everything right so far. And that's why the team that eventually succumbs to their opposition in the Summit Clash, that becomes a lot more heartbreaking. And what a stunning save that. It was a well-taken shot, but Ozen Vivian Silva, he ensures the fact that he got a strong hand to it.
Oh, and that's the first goal of the final. Tlangnuam take the lead. You can't switch off for a second. Ronnie playing it through. And Marema, who's opened the scoring once again. He's pretty emotional about it. And Rohit, you mentioned how important he is getting those first goals. And how important is this one in a final?
Almost in a flash, almost in a blink. That's what futsal is all about. You cannot blink, you cannot wink, you cannot turn your eyes away from the screen even for a heartbeat. You're going to lose maybe a flurry of goals. That's how quickly this game happens. Another incredible ball. And Ronnie sets it up brilliantly. Marema just getting crowded out in a split second. That's the perfect instance of how quickly this game can change. You don't take a second more. I mean, forget a second, a fraction of a second. And the next thing you know, you're staring down the barrel. Another chance, great opportunity. But Malhar Shah, charging out of his line like a raging bull, ensures the fact that he's fisting it away to safety.
He's made a couple of really big saves here. Malhar Shah quietly goes about his work. Aman dinks that through. Nikhil Mali was not really expecting that one. Of course, you can vote for the team you think is going to win. It's pinned in the comment section in the link here on the Indian Football YouTube channel. And what a big goal. Marema once again. You just have those runs in a tournament where you get those important goals. That's a nice flick through. Here's a chance again for Marema, but I think he should have played it towards the left-hand side. An absolute clear pass there towards Ronnie's path. This will have to be retaken, the corner. Nikhil Mali slightly frustrated with the way Progressive Sports Academy are defending. Sankema will take it. And now a counter-attacking opportunity. In fact, it's Gaurav all the way alone. Oh, he could have ball rolled it past the keeper. Rohit, the striker in me was thinking you have a bit of space towards the left-hand side. Malhar Shah, you've seen in the first two occasions, has made himself big. And as a striker, I'm thinking, okay, if the goalie is always going to come out quickly, then what is the next option? I think that was a big chance missed.
Absolutely, Liam. I think it was a 1v1. What he could have done is he had a bit of space to the left, like you pointed out. So maybe a little more nudge to the left, and eventually went for the near post instead of going for the far post. Because on a 1v1, if you're going for the far post with your goalkeeper already in an advancing position, that angle has been pruned down. So you don't really have a clear trajectory. You don't really have a clear goal lane ahead of you. So at times you just need to take that extra bit of nudge and have that confidence, have that faith in yourself. Because right now, I think what's impressive about Malhar Shah is he's more like a sweeper keeper. When it comes to goalkeeping, he's more like a sweeper keeper. He's always on the move, he's always on his toes, the way he's just moving around, shuffling around inside that arc. I think that's really impressive. So, in order to beat him, you will also have to move with him. You will also have to keep on, make him second guess his next move, your next move, because that's the only time when you will open up that little window of opportunity. That's a much ballooning shot, basically. Should have been better.
Here they come again. Here's Sean with the ball of his own, keeps going. He's very nifty with the ball at his feet. Very tough though to keep going because there is a bit of limited space, it must be said. In futsal, here's Gaurav, holds it up, sets it up for Sean, who turns himself. Sean once again delays the shot. This time just plays it wide. And that's the possession so far. Tlangnuam 64% of the ball. Malhar himself goes with the long ball. That's nicely taken down by Ginny, and Aman is asking for the ball to be his way. Of course, you don't have a kick in like regular football. You do have the basically you can throw the ball, or you can actually you have to throw the ball. If you're the goalkeeper, you can't put it on the floor. That basically results in quicker restarts. It's all about the quickness of the game. You also have a clock or a timer which stops every time the ball goes out of play. That's a nice ball from Nikhil. Chance to turn and shoot. Maybe the toe poke was too high, and I think the ball from Nikhil Mali was superb, but maybe the shot could have been taken earlier. And for all the possession that Tlangnuam have had, Rohit, I think it is Progressive Sports who have had the better chances.
I believe that Nikhil Mali, what he could have done was he just could have gone for that heel flick. Again, it was more like shooting an arrow in the dark. But then it would have not given the time to Malhar Shah to try and garner himself. But if he actually did wait, then going for the shot wasn't the best of choice. He had two players coming in alignment to him. So he had a couple of options. All he could have done was just set it up and let them take the shot because they were in a better position. So maybe these small decisions might eventually shape up the fate of the game. But so far, as you said, absolutely Progressive Sports, they've got better chances. A little flick inside, but nonetheless, the ball keeps on rolling. A bit of lack of communication between the Progressive players. That's kind of making life a tad too easy right now for Tlangnuam Futsal Club. But if they believe that the job's done, the job's light years from being done.
Almost definitely. Here's Tlangnuam once again. Ball towards the left-hand side. That's very tough to score from that sort of angle, Jayesh. Started a few of the games in the past. There's the fan prediction, 77% to the side from Mizoram. The Progressive Sports players just looking slightly off it right now. Yes, they have created chances, but sometimes you feel like they're passing the ball just half a second later. That is the issue. A bit of a chat there. Great to see a lot of people coming out and watching here in Bhavnagar in Gujarat. And let's not forget that a lot of these Tlangnuam players have played in last year's final. They were in Bhawanipur. They lost to Goal Hunters, and Nikhil Mali was part of that side, so they know him very well. He knows them as well, and it's a close knit futsal fraternity. They all have lots of respect for each other. But it is such a game where if you know your opponent really well, then you can stop them. At least try to at least have a bit of a game plan, because there is limited space. There are only certain things you can do with your ball facing or your back facing the goal. There are only certain amount of shots that you can take with maybe a toe poke or a low back lift or certain things like that. So as we said, tactics always play a part. Just the one back pass allowed. There's Nikhil, who's playing pretty deep on this occasion. He gets the ball back. In fact, it's Puya, and that will be a restart from the goalkeeper.
Absolutely, those small movements basically, they make a lot of difference, and I think you've got to be very, very quick in terms of your movement, because there's always going to be a challenge for this kind of space that you get. It's with very small space that you try and operate with. Just that one goal so far has come from Marema, the man who opened the scoring in the semis and the man who's opened the scoring in the finale as well. So when it comes to opening up locks that have not been broken so far, Tlangnuam says we've got our key maker, and that's Marema. And then we've got other heavy lifters as well who will eventually come into the game. That's a good bit of work out there. Good ball release too. Excellent bit of combination. And a stunning strike from Sankima. Goes with that outside of his boot and rifles one past Ozan Vivian Silva.
Well, Rohit, when you were speaking about other players coming to the party, who else but Sankima? He's got the most valuable player award in this competition before a few years ago. Gets the ball back from Vincent, a nice little 1-2, and that is the finish I was talking about. With the outside of his foot, a bit of a toe poke as well as a low back lift, and close to the goalkeeper, just under his, in between his hand and his foot. That could be a foul. Sankima goes flying, and on this occasion won't get the foul. So those are the sorts of fouls that you are, the goals, the shots that you are looking forward to take as an attacking player. Here's Chetan, takes the shot himself, and Nikhil Mali gets the final touch. I think it was him, and that will be one back for Progressive Sports. Chetan opened it up, took a shot, it was blocked on the line, and before anybody else, it's always Nikhil Mali who pounces. He's saying it's my goal, I'm there, don't worry. 13th of the campaign, as the main man Mali strikes again. And this final, as you said, is far from over. There's a lot of futsal to play.
Oh, absolutely, Liam, goes without saying. So much of thrills, so much of excitement. And these two teams, they come in with a lot of firepower. That's the confirmation. Nikhil Mali, the man who got his 13th in the 12th minute of the game. Quite a bit of mathematical surprise as well for the ones watching. But then this is just the beginning. So that's why we said that Progressive, I think just a few moments ago you said that these players, they know each other. They've been playing with each other for a while. It's not a big enough, it's not a gigantic family in futsal. It's more like a tight-knitted group altogether. I think a couple of big names from football as well has switched to futsal. One of them obviously being Himanshu Jangra, who used to play for Minerva. This time has been a part of Minerva futsal club this year around. So that changes a lot of things. I think one particular element of the sport that's attracting a lot of young players as well who's making the switch. Is there a question? I think there's that goal has been questioned there. Joshua Stanvas, he's saying that stop happened. He possibly feels that the ball had been snatched away and not in the way it should have been. But I think once the call has been made, it's been made. There won't be anything changing right now. And I think Joshua Stanvas knows it very well. So instead of going into an argy-bargy with the referee and getting himself a yellow card, it's always better, because in a game like this, you always want your coach to be on the bench. And that's more like a RI shot that goes flying.
Yeah, it's all happening here in the final. Chetan with a bit of a loose touch, and that's what I was talking about, Nikhil Mali. The rest of his players were looking slightly wary, making a few missed passes, just not shooting early enough. Chetan took a decent shot, but it was Nikhil Mali who made sure to get towards the goal. Very few players would have actually sniffed out a goal scoring opportunity from that sort of a position. But he was able to. That's a bit of a nice flick. Tlangnuam now looking for their third. Decent ball through. Chance to shoot, maybe. Bit of fancy footwork there from Kiran Chetri. And now on the counter, here's Chetan once again. Sankima with a bit of a touch, slight touch. And it will be a foul.
I think that was very well done there by Chetan. He knew instantly it was not going to be easy for him to try to breach the melee of boots that stood ahead. So what he did was he took that little outside dodge, got himself that little pocket of space. Looks like a timeout has been asked for, is it? Yeah, a timeout has been asked for, and it's been taken by Tlangnuam Futsal Club. I think Joshua Stanbaz wants to have a little chat with the players. What he knows out here is this is that particular window of the game where you don't want to concede another. Because if you concede another goal here, then you allow Progressive Sports Academy to have a crack at you, to have a go at you. And with players like Chetan, with players like Nikhil, with players like Puya, they're a very strong side. And once they start coming at you, it's got to be extremely hard to try and stall them.
Oh yes, you've definitely got an array of talent on both sides. As you take a look at the stats, the passing accuracy from Progressive, not the best. They've also played half more than the passes, half of the passes compared to their opponents. Possession, they haven't had the most. So I would say they're still hanging in this game. But stats don't tell the story. They've had a bit of the better chances. Might sound contradictory here. They have had the better chances, but they still haven't played as well. So that just shows that if they, and they'll know it as well, that's why they took that timeout. That's the end of the 1 minute timeout. So I feel like they will know they need to just tighten up a bit and be a little sharper going forward. There are many times in a game where you're playing decent, but you know you can play better, especially in a final. Here's Aman, takes a shot, blocked, scored a fantastic free kick in the semi-final to make it 4-4, and here's a counter-attacking opportunity for Tlangnuam. The challenge comes in from guess who? He is absolutely everywhere, is Nikhil Mali. What a wonderful futsal player he is. The best not only in this championship but in the country for a while now. Another one of those on the ball, Sankima. Avida as well, plays it through. That's a good challenge. Chetan, who has done pretty well in this game so far, takes a shot or tries to take a shot with his left foot. Plays it towards Nikhil. That could have been an opportunity. And it's going end to end now, isn't it, Rohit?
Absolutely, it is. Almost switching from one end to the other. That's what in football we call box to box action. This is more like arc to arc action. Both the goalkeepers, I think, of course, they have been tested. Not much of luck for Rosen today. Oh, what a strike that! A sensational equalizer. Gaurav sets it up. Takes that little touch. And hammers one. Puya. He gets his 11th. And it's all fair and square at Bhavnagar. And it's game on for the rest of it, for the remainder of it. What an absolute cracker we are witnessing.
What a beauty from Puya. He gets another one. Wasn't at his best in the semi-finals, but had an incredible goal line clearance, which basically gave them the game. Here's Gaurav now, almost wins it back from Sankima. Has got to be careful. Puya again, he's got Gaurav towards him. That's great defensive work from Vincent. Not only to stop that pass, but initially to cut off the angle because the pass was on early from Puya towards Gaurav. He stepped inside, made sure that he didn't play that pass first time, and then got the challenge in. But now, that timeout is proving to be something that has changed the momentum a bit from Progressive's point of view. Good 1-2 between Gaurav and Sean. And that should be a Tlangnuam ball. 6 minutes to play. Anybody's game for the taking. A few Progressive fans watching on there. And of course, you can vote for your club in the pinned link in the chat. And so far, for us at least, you can't choose between these two sides.
You absolutely can't. Sean again. Sean trying to find some space out there on the left. Nicely stalled along the way there by Mama. And yes, I think this is intriguing. I think like the way the players are duking it out on the pitch. The fans can as well on the socials for sure. So on the link, just go ahead and vote for your favorite team. And let's see who wins the war of the socials. It's a phenomenal way altogether. Puya. Puya does well to come up with that little diagonal ball. Back to Puya again. Things are getting a bit too scrappy now, I think, as we have moved on into the second half of the first 20 minutes. Tlangnuam Futsal Club, the kind of rhythm with which they were operating in the first half, in the first 10 minutes, that's kind of taken a bit of a backseat. Their passing accuracy has been slightly overturned as well. Good bit of recovery, to be honest, from Progressive. And they are a lot more brave in the second 10 minutes of the first half so far. And also, the harmony between the players, the sync between the players, the way they are orchestrating every single attack, that really has got a rhythm of the ones who are hungry, who are not willing to go down so easy.
Oh yes, you've got to be hungry, especially when you're going for a final or going for a trophy and still playing a bit of football. I'd always say the team talk has got to be about how much you want it. Because in a final, both the teams, of course, will always be on the same level as each other. But it's about who wants it more. There's Avira. Bit of a deflection will be a corner. And if you want it a little bit more than your players, than your opponents, you put a bit more effort in. And that's what will get you over the line. Sankima tries to hit it through the legs. And that shot is always on. Just 5 minutes to play now. And this would be a time where you don't want to concede. How you would love to take a lead though into that halftime break. Kemama lets it go. Not too many fouls so far. It's been quite a free-flowing game of futsal. Just waiting for the Progressive players to back off a bit. Avida takes a shot. Vincent just plays it towards, but the keeper with a very good save, Ozen Silva. And now Gaurav might have a chance. Good defensive work from Sankima. Gaurav's got to be careful there with his hands. And of course, Ozen Silva also has picked up best goalkeeper in one of the previous editions of this Futsal Club Championship. He also scored quite a few times as a goalkeeper, which we've seen in the past. Aman with the toe poke out. He's played last man in this side for Progressive. Oh, almost goes off Nikhil Mali. Almost every time he touches the ball, it goes into the back of the net. But this time it would have been the other way around.
Well, both teams, I think they have managed. Oh, what a chance again! An excellent save once again. Ozen Silva. He lost his shape, but then quickly regained it as well. I think that's what's important out there. The recuperation in futsal. You get very little time to recover. But then that's the time that you got to take. You got to be back on your feet, especially if you are a goalkeeper. There's a lot relies on you. Vincent. And a lovely duel between Nikhil Mali and Vincent. Eventually leading to a little rollover for Ozen Silva once again. Someone who knows the game inside out. Someone who's been impressive. And still in fan predictions, it's Tlangnuam Futsal Club, who's got the nod from their fans. We all know when it comes to support from the hills, the northeastern states, and they make an absolute show of it. It's been a while now. We've been doing a bit of broadcast in Indian football. Once again, great chance, great save. and to try and cushion it back. Not a bad idea, but doesn't really work out. The defense for Progressive Sports has been really strong, and that's what has been their forebearer throughout the tournament.
At 3 minutes to play, bit of a foul there from Sean Marema. In fact, it's Marema who's going to get a talking to here from the ref. This is good refereeing. Minimal contact allowed in futsal, especially with the with the elbows. You got to be careful. Joshua Vaz not too happy either. Here's Chetan. He has been superb. Looking for a bit of space, plays it backwards. Aman. And this is something that I've noticed with Aman playing at the back. You don't have too many ball playing centre backs or last men in a five-a-side game who's lefty. So when you open up a different kind of an angle there, it opens up a different channel and it gives you a bit of a different passing option. And as I said, playing a bit of futsal, five-a-side football all my life actually, that is actually something which is a big benefit for Progressive Sports.
I think one thing is, first and foremost, the space is so much on the lower side. Another long range shot there, straight into the gloves of Ozen Silva. One thing is, given the fact that the space is so less, it's not like in football you can operate, you can adjust, and you can eventually come around with a different angle. In futsal, you have to manage with what you have. So the moment a left-footed player comes in, the moment a southpaw comes in, is where you have to start thinking that what's that initial angle that he'll try and create? What's the dummy? What's the little movement of the body feint? Oh, that's brilliantly done there. Marema through the legs of Nikhil Mali. Unfortunately, Nikhil Mali didn't have any choice whatsoever. He came up with a bit of a harsh challenge and eventually gets into the book of the referee as well.
And Marema is a little annoyed because there was a bit of an advantage which should have been played. That's what he was asking for. He had a chance to take a pop at goal there. Remember, slide tackles are allowed. Even though it's a small area, you can still slide tackle. Chance now, straight into Mali. That needed to be slightly placed better towards the goal. And Nikhil Mali, of course, we speak so much about his goal scoring prowess, but he does defend a lot. And as his career has progressed as a futsal player, he's also taken the mantle on as basically, of course, he's a born leader, but also dictating the tempo of the game, deciding when to hold, when to maybe play a slightly higher line. And we've seen this a lot in the past, where the more you play this smaller format, that's a push from Sean, the more you play this smaller format, the more you start understanding the angles and the tempo and all of those things. So, of course, he is a very important cog in that machine. A third foul now. Just 5 fouls allowed. In fact, when you hit that 5 foul mark, there will be a penalty to the opponent. So they've got to be careful. 1.5 to play. Here's K Mama trying to open it up. Sets it up. Marema can't keep it on target. In fact, it is on target. It's a save from Ozen Silva. They take it quickly. Got to be careful here. K Mama again. Opens it up towards Vincent. Challenge from Sean. He's got to be careful.
Great bit of work, great bit of pressure as well. Jay Sutar, he's been another one of those stalwarts have been around. Oh, that's an incredible goal! More than the goal, it's the assist. That will count. Great finish by Marema again. But that ball from Jay Sutar, just on cue, as if writing a testimony for himself. And he paints it with a lot of creativity, with a lot of accuracy. And Marema does the rest. When you get $1 million line-breaking ball like that, you've got to score. Otherwise, it's disrespect to the one who's provided the ball.
Absolutely, Rohit. What a ball that was. This is where Tlangnuam come up with the goods. They've got everybody who chips in. Progressive Sports also do. That's why both these teams are in the final. We saw goal hunters last season as well. All of them play their roles, and that is so important. You've got a big squad, and that is why you need everybody to come up with a good, decent ball towards Sean. But how good has Marema been in this final? Chetan on one side, but Marema on the other just looks a little bit more hungry in this final. And those are the players that you want to be on the pitch as long as possible. Yes, you will take a few breathers here and there, but it is so important that you are able to find the back of the net in a final. And now they could be taking a lead, a 3-2 lead in this final with halftime coming in. A few seconds to play. Here's Nikhil. Plays it back towards Aman. That's the left foot I was talking about. Takes a shot. That was close towards that top right corner.
Absolutely had a bit of a swerve as well on the ball. And for a moment, Malhar almost had his heart in his mouth. Lucky for him that the ball had that outside swerve and not one that would threaten to come in closer. What a half this has been. What an excellent, enticing 20 minutes in futsal this has been. Both the sides not willing to go down. Tlangnuam, they come again. Another incredible setup. Lovely ball control as well. But looks like that's the last bit of action that we'll have at the end of the first half. And as things stand, it's Tlangnuam Futsal Club who will have the lead right now in their favor. 3-2 is what the scoreline suggests. Goals from Marema, Sankima has got Tlangnuam in the driver's seat for now, and Nikhil Mali and Puya were the ones who scored for Progressive Sports Academy.
What a fantastic half of futsal it has been. And we still yet to see Nikhil Mali, apart from that goal, take too many shots. As you take a look at how things have taken place, a bit of a giveaway as Marema took that first shot. He has been the pick of the players for Tlangnuam, that's for sure. Ronnie squared it towards him. Marema with a great finish. They could have actually reversed it, where Marema could have played one to Ronnie. Then Sankima with a nice 1-2 with Vincent. A toe poke past the keeper. 2-0 lead for Tlangnuam. But Progressive Sports Academy coming back. Chetan with the shot. There was a bit of a block on the line. And then Nikhil Mali tapping it through. One of the easiest goals he scored in his futsal career. And he has scored a plenty. And then Puya from the center, hitting it across the keeper. But this ball straight through. Lovely turn and finish from Marema to give a 3-2 lead to Tlangnuam. And then towards the end, Aman with the shot just went away from Malhar Shah's post, and Malhar also made some good saves. But what a first half it's been. The crowd is enjoying it. We are enjoying it. So stay tuned on the Indian Football YouTube channel, because on the other side, the second half of the final will be coming up. For now, it's Tlangnuam 3, Progressive SA 2. So we're back live here and on the Indian Football YouTube channel. It's halftime at the final of the Futsal Club Championship. Nikhil Mali, who's been here time and again, knows exactly what it means and how to win a final. Has also been on the losing end, so he knows how heartbreaking it is. But right now, it's his side who are trailing at the break. They were down 2-0. Then they came back to 2-2, and now it's 3-2 to Tlangnuam. Take a look at the stats possession-wise. It is TFC who have more of the possession, more passes, more passing accuracy. Same amount of fouls, 1 yellow card there to Nikhil himself for Progressive Sports, but there have been quite a few chances. If you see the saves that have been made, it is the Tlangnuam goalkeeper, Malhar Shah, who's probably made more of the saves as compared to Ozen Silva. So definitely both sides well and truly in it. And this second half should be an absolute cracker. Just as the first half was, we had great semi-finals as well. But now it all comes down to the final 20 minutes as we look to crown the futsal champions of India once again. It's the second half as Progressive Sports kick us off. And they're looking for an early equalizer. They don't manage it. But Nikhil Mali has a chance. Oh, good touch there from Sankima. And joining me for the second half, once again, Rohit Ganguly. What a battle between the likes of Nikhil and Sankima, who know each other so well.
Absolutely, Liam. Goes without saying. Another one of those opportunities. Lovely little outside movement there, Nikhil Mali. He has started on a bit of a high note already in the second half itself. Now, obviously, it goes without saying they know what's at stake. They know what's on the line. They know what are the kind of odds that they are dealing with. That would have been a stunning enterprise had it been in the frame of the goal. Unfortunately, it was going away, and not much of a challenge there for Malhar Shah. They'll have to be watchful. So will Tlangnuam Futsal Club, because they're up against a force that will not stop at anything. That will come like an asteroid. They'll try and burn everything in its way that tries to stop them. So we are in for an entertaining 20 minutes. Nikhil Mali sets it up nicely. And Puya, he's got a goal to his name as well. Back to Nikhil. Nikhil, a bit of a tough angle. And this is where he needed that support from Chetan. It felt like was slightly away from the range of Nikhil. And by the time he did come into contention for the ball, it was a bit too far.
So here comes Avida. Twists and turns. Sankima is there. He goes for the shot himself. Futsal ball is a little heavier. Sticks to your feet. It's a smaller size ball, but when you shoot, it goes through the air and just zips through. Was Chetan so confident on the ball? Love to see it. Dinked over from Nikhil. Chetan. Oh, he keeps it in. That's good work from him. Here, Sankima almost gives it away here. There's a chance maybe for Nikhil. Good defensive work there by K Mama. And there's Sankima again. Induces the foul. Gets taken out quite badly, and that is always going to be a foul. The first of the second half. From Progressive Sports, Sankima should get back to his feet. Very impressive player. I've played with him, against him rather, a few years ago when we were both in college. Back in Kolkata. That's a nice run from K Mama. Pull back from Nikhil Mali. He's got to be careful. He's already on a yellow card. He has got to be careful there. You don't want to lose your talisman with 18 minutes to go.
Absolutely, Liam. Goes without saying. If he gets the marching orders, forget your talisman. Forget what he's brought so far and what he brings to the side. The major challenges, then it becomes a battle of 5 versus 4. And in a game where you just have 4 players, 5 players on the court, it becomes an overwhelming challenge for you to try and control that. So you've got to understand that every player counts, every moment counts, and this is an incredible chance here for Tlangnuam Futsal Club. You've got options, obviously. Mama's the one who's going to be the one to take the free kick. Avida as well nearby. Mama goes direct. Back for Avida. And he loves to shoot. And he absolutely loves to shoot from distance. Did try his luck, not once but twice. The second time, didn't get hold of the ball. Obviously, as we have said this before, Progressive Futsal Club, Progressive Sports Academy rather, and they're so quick. At times it becomes very hard for them. What a chance to equalize. Oh my word, the fortune gods must have been angry at them for something. Or else a chance like that, it should have been buried 6 feet under.
Absolutely, those sorts of chances can make or break a final. And we've seen that Progressive Sports haven't been able to take those for now. A bit of control here from Tlangnuam. Nice turn from K Mama. He's been brought down. This time it's Puya who's getting in the way of him. That's the third foul already within 3 minutes from Progressive Sports. And you can see what Tlangnuam are trying to do here. A good quick shift of a turn of pace, shift of direction. They're just hanging a leg out here, are Progressive, and they're inviting the foul. And that is how 3 fouls have come through. Here's Avida, gets it back, plays it across, or rather to the side. Kemama gets a kick in. In fact, it will be a corner. Poor pass towards Avida, but Nikhil Mali loses it out. Marema tries to play it across to Kemama, who's also known as Rolapuya. Now Jayesh holding the fort at the back for now. Sankima's got a bit of a breather. Bit of a slip there from Kemama. Avida holding possession really well, dictating the tempo. And of course, as I've said, Rohit, before, that these players have been in this position before. They have played quite a few futsal championship finals, have also played for the country, so they know exactly how to do things, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. They do know how to get things done. And more importantly, they do know how to get things done in a big occasion match like this. A little slip up. There was a nice development there. This time just trying to do too much on the ball right now, Puya. At times doing more becomes a challenge in futsal. You've got to have economy of passes. You've got to figure out where's the next that you're playing the ball. It's more like a bit of a premeditated action as well in futsal, because given the fact that the time's shorter, the space is limited, you don't really have a second touch. The ball is being snatched away. Incredible setup. And the ball still doesn't go in. We'll have to take a look if it was Malhar Shah, the man who denied the ball an entrance into the promised land of glory. Or was it a little bit of mess up there from the Progressive Sports Academy? And another gilt-edged chance squandered away.
Absolutely squandered away a bit too many times, I would say. Aman running into a bit of traffic. Marema now takes the shot. They're asking for handball. Never was going to be the case from Puya's point of view. Chetan keeps it in. But how many more of those chances are they going to rue here, Progressive Sports? And also they've got to be wary of the fact that Nikhil Mali has made another challenge. Well, here's Gaurav, one-on-one with the keeper. Good save. And then on the goal line, there's Jayesh. Unbelievable piece of timing and positioning there from him. And now on the counter, opportunity to make it 4! From one goal to the other. Tlangnuam get the 4th, and this could be a bit of daylight between them and their opponents. Kiran Chetri finishes it off in style, but it all started from the back. Malhar with the first save, Jayesh with that goal line clearance. Then they played it all the way up to Vincent, who set it up for Kiran Chetri, who's got another goal. And what his third of the campaign. And what a move. Wait, they have a chance now for number 5. Guinea! They're running away with the final here at Tlangnuam Futsal Club. They did exactly this versus Goal Hunters in the semi-final. It was neck and neck at half-time. But as the game is progressing, excuse the pun, they are turning out to be the better side.
Absolutely. The thing about Tlangnuam Futsal Club is that all that it takes them to flip it around is a second. Two costly mistakes in the defense by Progressive Sports Academy. And as they say in football or in futsal or in any game, basically, you don't take your chances, your counterparts will. Two chances, two clinical hits, and now a 3-goal cushion between them and their counterparts. Progressive, they'll need a goal at the earliest at this point in time. It's not for the gap. Another one of those opportunities, this time the diagonal ball gets interceded. Nice switch. Gaurav gets it through the center. Sean looking for space. Gets Gaurav again. And now that they have a 3-goal cushion, Liam, I think what they're going to do is they'll be more focused on getting their defense a lot more compact instead of trying to go on a bit of an ultra aggressive maneuver.
What a time to get that 4th goal. Just when Progressive Sports were getting a few more chances. Nikhil Mali is off as well, or was off at that point because of the fact that he has got a yellow and another foul. So he's got to be careful. Yes, the game is not over. 5-2 is nothing in futsal. But you just got the feeling that at that point, there was 3 fouls made by Progressive Sports. Tlangnuam have had a lot of the ball. They've had a few of the chances, but I said in the beginning of the game, Rohit, that the counter-attacking prowess of both sides, but especially Tlangnuam, has been superb. Second to none. And of course, they scored those 23 goals which I called in that quarterfinal. Many of them were counter-attacks. The other side was pretty good. They weren't too bad. Young hearts, I would say. But on the counter, absolutely electric. And now with 14 minutes to go, that they have been there, done it before, means that they could close out this game, and also the fact that they will have a lot of counter-attacking opportunities going forward because Progressive Sports will throw everything at them in the next 10-15 minutes.
I think it was something similar as well in the semi-final because when they were up against the Goal Hunters, they knew that they've got better pace than their side. I think this is one great thing about Tlangnuam. Once again, incredible teamwork. Vincent now. And Guinea trying to swerve it at the second post. A lot of elevation behind the ball. Tlangnuam, they learn from their oppositions and more importantly, they read about them. The homework that's being done, I think that's incredible. And with that kind of homework, you know what your oppositions can come at you against. That's good ball. And a bit of an oxygen now as well for Progressive Sports Academy. Lovely setup, and Aman Shah doing the rest, an entire goalkeeping. Malha this time, a little false alarm for him as well. Another goal for Progressive Sports, and my oh my, they're in for a thriller.
That's a great move. And Aman moving up the field this time round. Dishu Singh has come in to play that last man role, which means Aman can move forward. We have already spoken about how good he is when it comes to the attacking sense of things. Here's Gaurav, takes a shot too, that's gone through the hands of Malhar. Very important 5 minutes here. Progressive can get one more. Then this will set us up for a brilliant last 10. Oh, that's a close shot from Dishu this time. He's getting in amongst the attacking action as well. But of course, still leaves them up for a bit of a counter. Here's Vincent. Could have squared it towards Avida. Was pretty annoyed that he didn't get that tap-in opportunity. And of course, Sean once again getting a few assists in the semi-final, doing a great job today as well. That's a good turn from Jayesh. Keeps going. Gaurav does well to win it back. Here's Chetan, who has been pretty quiet in this second half as compared to the first. Dinks it over the top. Nicely headed away there from Malhar. I think it had gone out of play. Fan predictions going even more in the favor of Tlangnuam, and why not? The way they're playing, 5-3 leaders right now, 84% of the people feel like they are the ones who will take home the trophy. Right now it is in their control, but Progressive Sports will have a say in it. Chetan tries to turn, slips a little bit. There's Gaurav again looking for space. Dishu's open. If they can cross it towards him, it is his left foot angle would have helped there if they played it towards him. Sankima back on. It will be a white ball though. Aman turns. Has to be careful not to lose possession here. Couple of challenges come in. And then it just smashed away from danger at that point.
Good spell of play from both the teams. Progressive now. They look to be in the groove. That's what goals do to you. It enhances your confidence. Gets a little boost for your panache as well. Goes for that outside dodge. Takes the shot. Malhar! And Malhar spilt the ball, but eventually there was a little collision that happened. And that's what the referee spotted out straight up. Knew it instantly that it was a bit of an infringement, and the ref saying that that's definitely a foul. One more thing for Progressive Sports to worry about now. They've got 4 fouls already. One more and they concede a penalty, and what they do not want to concede right now is a goal, because another goal for Tlangnuam, all that little bit of resurgence that they've had since they have scored that third goal, that might just evaporate into oblivion. Another nice bit of work out there, taking one of those shots from distance. Not really sure why Ozan went for a save like that. Should have been a regular collection. The consequent shot, that also went for a little bit of deflection along the way. Danger's not over. Possession lingers on around that Progressive Sports Academy D there. A gentle flick. And another phenomenal strike again. He got the rocket out. In Sankima, he's been on a roll. And he continues to be on a roll. And Tlangnuam Futsal Club, they are playing their own rock and roll as Bhavnagar shivers and vibrates to the tones.
It's Sankima once again. What a wonderful player he is. Just belts that one straight through. And now a bit of daylight again. They've doubled the score of the opponents. Good challenge comes in. Another shot well blocked by Sankima, who is absolutely everywhere at the moment. There was a bit of a touch on it. I don't think from Avida. I think it was Dishu Singh who got a bit of a touch. And what a belter from Sankima into that bottom left corner. He loves that shot. Bit of hold up play here from Chetan. Just putting the challenges in. Sankima once again. He's got a runner beyond him. Plays it wide. Ginny. Back to Sankima. Be careful of the shot again. That's exactly why. Because he can belt them into the top corner. A hat trick for Sankima when it matters the most. Straight through the defense and the goalkeeper. And I think that's the final now. 7-3 for Tlangnuam. I don't think Progressive are going to be able to come back from this now. They look deflated. They've called for a timeout as well. But Sankima, what a performer. In the final, he's got another. Incredible stuff from him.
No, goes without saying. The man's got a flamethrower out and he's absolutely scorching out the court right now in Bhavnagar. What a performer, what a player, and more importantly, choosing the finale to do so. It just sets him apart from the others. And obviously a little chat between Joshua Stanvas, man who's come mighty close. Last year was with Bhawanipur. Unfortunately, were defeated by the goal hunters. And here he is, and he can sniff out that the silverware, the crown, will be coming to his side. The Mizo people will be so happy So delighted. A performance that deserves all the laurels, the plaudits. It's incredible. And in the second half, they have been completely overwhelming. Progressive, they've had their little bit of chances going on. Of course, they missed out a couple of excellent chances. One, they struck the woodwork. Another one, they just couldn't bring it close enough to the frame. And from there, once again, on the counter offensives, Tlangnuam showing patience, showing temperament. And every time they've got a chance, they've let one fly. And right now, they are the overwhelming, the clean, clear favourites to walk away with the trophy for AIFF Futsal. And Chetan goes for that shot. But once again, tight angle, a lot of blockade ahead of him as well.
There are 10 minutes to play. Progressive have got to get a goal in the next few minutes. Otherwise, it's going to be really tough. Of course, it always is going to, but you never know. But it's the experience that these Tlangnuam players have. And of course, having a few of them having lost the final. Oh, that's a poor pass. Having lost the final last season, playing for Bhawanipur against the likes of Goal Hunters. Playing for Tlangnuam now, looking to bring glory to the side from Mizoram. They're just 10 minutes away. But of course, now Progressive Sports will be looking at the likes of Nikhil Mali to give them a bit of a lift. He's the one who can maybe pull them out of this. He knows it. Here he is on the ball. Oh, that's a poor pass. Puya does well to play it backwards. Ozen Silva. Of course, we do see when a team is trailing a game, we do see the keeper being switched out for an outfield player, and then that outfield player plays like a sweeper keeper. That is a very high intensity position, but it is something that you have specialists for. Ozen Silva himself also can come up and score if he wants to, but that's very dangerous against the likes of Tlangnuam. We'll have to see if they decide that. Right now, Malhar has had such a good game. He has made some really good saves, hasn't he, Rohit? Very important in a final.
Absolutely, not just in the final, in the semis as well. Malhar was impressive. Had it not been for him, could have been a different scoreline. And as you said, at times you have to take the decision. A one from distance again, but again not threatening Malhar, at least on that one. I think it's high time now. Progressive might have to take a few tough calls. They'll have to decide that right then, not much for us to lose. We lose 10-3 or we lose 7-6. It's the same at the end of it all. But at least we can throw everything now. We can throw everything that we have and try and get ourselves close enough. That's how this game rolls. And I think, Liam, this is where eventually greats are born. Because you have to take your calls, you have to make a few decisions. Looks like they've got Aman Shah, is it? No, in fact, they've got Dishu on. We were talking about the outfield flair, and that leaves the goal gaping. Well, you go high, you pay the price as well. And what a scintillating finish from Avida, the man who's been on a goal scoring spree, gets his name on the score sheet. And now, as you would like to put it, not just a daylight, feels like we're in the polls and they have an entire 6 months of daylights with them.
And that's exactly what you were speaking about. Dishu is the one who has been entrusted with this position. He's gone up. Daylight between Aman and the goal there, and chipped over the top. Avida always knows where the goal is, and that could be the final nail now. Tlangnuam, who hold their shape really well defensively. Dishu takes a shot, it's over the top, and defensively they keep it compact, and then In the quarterfinal, they scored 23. In the semi-final, they scored 10. Now they've scored 8. Unbelievable attacking prowess, but defense wins you championships, and especially in these small-sided games, it's very underrated. Is the defensive shape and how much of work goes into keeping your men, keeping that shape. That's a nice 1-2. He couldn't get the shot away. Just Chetan can't keep it in play either. As Joshua Vaz feels every moment of the game. Avida gets a bit of a breather as Kiran Chetri comes on. And it has been an absolutely incredible team performance from Tlangnuam. All of the players have scored a goal. The outfield players at least. Throughout the competition, that's how good they've been. Scoring 14 goals, scoring 23 goals, 10 goals, and everything in between. But the defense, that has been something that they will be so proud of, keeping a clean sheet as well in that 23-0 victory. It looks like they'll be marching their way to the cup as things stand. 8 minutes to play, 8 goals they've scored. Number 8, Puya with the ball for Progressive as they still look for that 4th goal. They need to get it now if they are to push for a bit of a comeback.
Well, this has been quite a footballing season for the northeastern sides. It goes without saying. Obviously, in IFL, we know Shillong Lajong pulled off, came second in the tournament. Yeah, the idea was right again, and now in futsal as well. Even in Durand, Northeast showed what they are capable of. An indomitable side, basically an incredible run. As we always know, it's been the hotbed of Indian footballing talents. And when it comes to futsal, I think it goes without saying that they've been mighty impressive. How quickly they move, and more importantly, we know futsal, it's a high octane game. It's more like it needs everything from you. Aman might be the one to come on. The goalkeeper's Fred's on, and he's already out in the center. It's more like Progressive. They are throwing everything possible, and they are clueless. They're looking for answers. Unfortunately, the answer. Oh, what a strike that! Sloppy goalkeeping, to be honest. You cannot concede from that angle. Aman sets it up. And almost a hammer fall. And no mistake there by Chetan, who gets his name on the score sheet. And Liam, to be honest, I might be too optimistic about this. If they get a couple more goals in the next couple of minutes, you never know. Without conceding, of course.
Yeah, you never know. 7 minutes to go. It's all about the momentum in a game like this. And now Ozan comes back on. And it's Aman who was playing that role. He gets an assist actually as the keeper. And there you go. Aman comes back on. So it's basically like a basketball game. When you're defensive. 5 is on, and then when you're offensive, then you switch the keeper out and he comes out. Sorry, the outfield player comes in. Plays like a sweeper. You see that in hockey also quite a bit. There's a rolling substitution, so you can make those changes. And Malhar was actually opening his legs to try and stop the cross. Shot taken here, Nikhil Mali. Malhar will go for a shot himself. And Aman can use his hands. Exactly like I was saying, how it is in basketball, just keeping the ball in play. And Malhar almost getting a goal to add to the rest who have scored for Tlangnuam. Nikhil Mali, it was just high. Too high for him to head down and pass the keeper. And look at the defensive shape from Tlangnuam. They're just going to keep going. And then they're going to try and shoot from a distance. Here's K Mama. Oh, that is wonderful from him. That will be a yellow probably. For Dishu, yes, he will get a yellow. That's the second of the game for Progressive Sports. But they've just got to run down the clock here. Tlangnuam, do what they're doing. And it looks like it's going to be a timeout because they just have a chat and take the momentum away from Progressive Sports because they were building quite a bit of that.
Yeah, also Progressive now. They have got 5 fouls in play. I think that was another incredible chance that Nikhil Mali. I understand it was extremely tough and difficult. Obviously, the height not too easy to try and control. But in particular situations like these, in junctures like these, whatever comes your way, you gotta take that. Doesn't matter what you're trying to define when it comes to ball possession. Tlangnuam still overwhelmingly the favorites, 57%. 43 is what the progressive has been, but then progressive sports they've looked slightly better. And now with 5 fouls committed, the next one it goes to a penalty. In Tlangnuam, they've been mighty clean so far in the second half. No fouls until now. Passes completed 129. A little look at the board as well that we've been talking about. It's going to be intriguing. The upcoming 5.5 minutes. It's going to be pure madness. And it will certainly not be easy for the faint-hearted people.
Especially if you are a Tlangnuam fan. These are the times where you feel that we can just slip it up, but also you will have faith in your players. But I think 8-4 is pretty comfortable for a side like them. Here's Nikhil Mali. Final 5 minutes, they've scored 7 goals. Well, they would love at least 4 here. They scored quite a few of those 7 goals in the final 5 minutes of the semi-final. What a finish that was. What a game that was. And they were down 5-4 at one point. And then eventually won 8-5. Did progressive. Avida with a nice touch. Here's Vincent. Plays it backwards. Jayesh. Look at the way they're moving the ball around. K Mama, he's so quick. He keeps going. He keeps going. And Dishu pushes him away. Both of them were holding each other. Good call from the ref. Another switch now. Aman will go back on and look at that. Tlangnuam in the final 5 minutes themselves have scored 14 goals. Breaking all the records as we go here. 4.5 to play. And now just 1 foul remaining. We've got to be careful here. Progressive, but either ways, they're just going to throw everything at it. But the shape that Tlangnuam are keeping right now, it's going to be very tough to break them down. Good save again from Malhar. Aman tries to get a touch through. Won't really work out. It will be his way. Taking it quickly. They've switched off there. What a save from Malhar though. Unbelievable. Here's Chetan. Another save. And then he goes for the bicycle kick. And now they're asking for the foul. It will be a card to Chetan. And this will be a problem for Progressive Sports. But back-to-back saves there from Malhar Rohit. That is incredible. That's the 6th accumulated foul for them.
My word, what a phase of play. What a chance again for Progressive Sports Academy. Unfortunately, in the second half, I think they've just squandered away too many opportunities, and that's the price you have to pay. But now it's a penalty because, again, 6 accumulated fouls. And here's a chance for Tlangnuam to just put the final nail on the coffin. Avida, their captain. Ozan will have to pull up a save. Great save. However, the rebound has been nudged home. No mistake by Mama. On the lookout, on the hunt at all times. And another one for the Bears. They just cannot stop scoring. 71, in fact 69, apologies. 69 goals from just 5 matches. What a performance. Aman gets it to Nikhil Mali. Was off action for a while. Back to Aman again. just a few moments ago, I think in the second half, possibly 4 to 5 chances have been just passed up by Progressive Sports Academy, and that's what's led to all the trouble. As they say, you've got to take your chances. You don't take your chances, you keep on paying the price. That's exactly what's been the case. A little bit of an injury concern for Jay Sutar. I think obviously a bit of heartbreak for the Progressive Sports Academy fans. But always good to see such a massive turnover. Looks like it's a very tough affair, to be honest. 9 goals, 5 goal gap in just 3.5 minutes to go. Won't be easy. They'll need a miracle and a half. They have to turn this around, and they'll have to do that quick enough. Amongst the outfield player, that switch has been happening. Ozan coming back when their team's on the defensive move. Aman's out there when his team's on the attack. Gets the ball all wrong.
Looking to go into double digits one more time, Tlangnuam. And what a way that would be. If they can get it, what a way to win the championship. What a team this is. Many of these players will become multiple time champions. They've done it for different teams. This time it's Tlangnuam. They're going to take the trophy home for. Smashed away there by Avida. Almost gets it into the post. And there you go, final 5 minutes, 15 goals scored. But if they get one more and make it 16, then they'll go to double digits. Here's Puya. Still just holding the shape here, not letting them move through at all. One man each, all the way through. Blocking the passing lines, allowing them to play around. This is like a basketball game, as I mentioned. Just holding the shape. They don't want to concede another one here. They have shut up shop. And Progressive, now it's very tough to score because of the fact there's another chance. Oh, they've just missed it. Because of the fact that there are 5 players around that penalty area, very tough to create too many chances. And of course, you're rushing against time. With every move, you want to try and create a goal scoring opportunity. But look at Joshua Stanvas. Look at the way he is instructing them to keep their shape. Best in the business for a reason. It's a nice move though, but Aman with a bit of a trip. And Coach Veera Babu on the other side has also done a great job. Credit to him and to Progressive Sports Academy, because they have been really good. Here's Avida. Goes for the shot himself. But it is Puya who picks it up. And will have to play towards the left for Nikhil Mali, who hasn't had too many chances in this game, and they have kept him out of the game so well. Many of his former teammates, many of his Indian teammates. Here's Nikhil again, and Malhar, what a final he has had. Goes for a shot himself, but won't get the goal he was looking for.
Less than 90 seconds to go. And we officially crown the new champions. What a performance this has been from Joshua's team. And I think for Joshua as well, there's been nothing short of a glory ride. Over the years, grown in stature, knows the players well. In this team, it's been curated by him. All the players coming together. I think that's quite a setup that you want. And if Tlangnuam does manage to get that 10th goal in this last 3 years, they'll be the first team to score double digits in the finale. When Goal Hunters won the championship against Bhawanipur, it was 4-2. The year prior to that, it was 3-2 victory for Corbett possibly. And this time around, it can be a new record in Tlangnuam. What they've done incredibly well is they have almost set up records after one another. It's more like a record book that they have opened right from page 1 to the last page. They keep on making a note of affairs. Sean there trying to get one of those balls in. But as you said, Liam, right now the defensive structure It's too strong. Going for that little rainbow flick, but Jay Sutar coming up with a crucial touch in ensuring that the ball doesn't go anywhere close to the goal.
A fantastic performance it has been from Tlangnuam from moment one. Of course, they had their goal breached quite a few times in this game, but Malhar has made some great saves. But in the beginning, that 2-0 lead always helps. And now it's just about the finishing touches, and every block, every turnover is being applauded. Chance here, Chetan finishes it off. Great ball from Nikhil Male. Tlangnuam, of course, can't applaud this one. That's a fantastic pass. Chetan does really well. Avida switched off a bit there with his runner in behind, and Chetan has had a fantastic final, I must say. He scored 9 goals. He's had a good tournament as well. Yellow card for someone. Not sure who. Maybe on the bench. Just calming things down here, the referees. 19 seconds to play. Not much that Progressive Sports can do. Joshua Stanvas is looking pretty emotional there. On the side, Nikhil Mali needs to be stopped again. Wins the tackle. Sankima plays it away. Final few seconds. He can't wait to celebrate this winning moment, can he? And there you go! It is the winning moment. It is full time, and it's Tlangnuam Futsal Club who are the champions of the Futsal Club Championship 2026. Joshua Stanvas and his side have done it once again. And every time they do it, it feels even sweeter. Many of them last season came runners-up against goal hunters for Bhawanipur, but this time there's only one team. It's Tlangnuam Futsal Club. What a performance from them, Rohit.
Absolutely goes without saying. From the hills to the flatlands they came. They saw, they conquered, tears of joy welling up in the eyes of Joshua Stanvas, the man who's come so close to the trophy over the last couple of years. Last year, almost was said that they will win it, but then came the goal hunters. But this time around, he made a promise, he took an oath that when he signed a contract with Tlangnuam Futsal Club, he'll take them all the way to the glory land. What a conquest this has been for the Mizo boys. What a conquest this has been for Joshua Stanvas as well. If you take a look at the stats, it will tell you why Tlangnuam Futsal Club, they've been a side to reckon with. They've been a wrecking ball, expunging, decimating, and absolutely wiping off counterparts. Those emotions from Joshua Stanvas, it just tells you what this trophy means to him. It just tells you what this journey, this ride means to him. Liam, we all know we talk about the heavens and the hells, we talk about the gods and the demons, but it just doesn't come to you overnight. You build this night after night. There are sleepless nights that come into play. You keep on thinking, scratching your head. You keep on writing on those drawing boards. What's next? What's the next step that you can take? And then eventually, after years and years of hard work, you arrive where Joshua Stanvas and his boys has arrived right now.
Absolutely, Rohit. What a fantastic performance from them. And of course, Progressive Sports Academy put up a good fight in this final, but at full time. It is Tlangnuam Futsal Club 9, Progressive Sports Academy 5. And that is that from us here at the Futsal Club Championship. Thank you so much for joining us. From my partner Rohit Ganguly and myself, Liam Bain, we're signing off. And congratulations to Tlangnuam Futsal Club, your champions of India.
its deep gratitude to the Gujarat State Football Association for their outstanding support and hospitality in hosting this championship in Bangladesh. The AIFF President, Sri Kalyan Chaniji, will now present a special appreciation award to the Gujarat State Football Association. Honorable AIFF President Sri Kalyan Chaniji will now present a special appreciation award to the Gujarat State Football Association. Thank you. Before we move to our we take a moment to honor the men and women who have served the championship of 8 weeks and the highest honor of the game, the next officials of the AIFF Futsal Club Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for referees and men officials as they join on the stage. The AIFF Futsal Club Championship commemorative medals are presented by our state teams. Please join us in their professionalism and dedication throughout this tournament.
नहीं हो पाएगा ना वो मैं वही कह रहा हूँ मुझे बोला मैं देखता हूँ क्या हो जाएगा
Thank you very much. Sit down. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for, the award recognizing excellence, sportsmanship, and brilliance throughout this championship. Let us begin with the Country Award given to the team that best demonstrated the spirit of the game on and off the pitch, progressing effort. The AIFF Football Club Championship 2025-26 Country Award is presented by the Deputy Our next award recognizes the status right of the championship. The best goal scorer award is presented by Sri Tlangnuam. The best goal scorer of the AIFF Football Club Championship 25-26 is Tlangnuam. The player of the tournament is selected by AIFF President Sri Kalyan Chandra. The player of the AIFF Football Club Championship 25-26 is Lalsan Puya. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the champion of the AIFF Football Cup Championship 25-26. Tlangnuam FC, champion of the tournament. And now, this set is presented by AIFF President Sri Kalyan Chandra. to the champion of the AIFF Futsal Cup Championship 25-26, Tlangnuam FC. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for, all dignitaries to the please join the championship on the stage. The AIFF Futsal Club Championship 25-26 trophy presented by AIFF President Shri Tlangnuam and state dignitaries to the champion team, Tlangnuam FC. What a recognition. Thank you to every player, every club, every official. All, and we look forward to the flag on the top. Thank you. Thank you all.
अरे वायला अरे 70 नंबर ना था यार काफी लोग हैं साला बच्चिया ना खदड़ा खदड़ा कोई चल रहा कोई बाहर બધા સાંજે મને ટાઈમ મળી જાજો